Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the MedSpeed Podcast. My name is Christian Foster. I am a second-year medical student at the UWI Mona campus. And in this podcast, I interview persons in the healthcare field, specifically in the Caribbean, to share their experiences, advice, and overall perspective of the healthcare field. In episode 3, I'll be interviewing Joshua Regis, a second-year medical student from the beautiful island of Saint Lucia, who is currently pursuing his medical degree in Africa, specifically in Morocco. Welcome to the podcast, Joshua.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So before I go on, I just want to say a little bit about how I know Joshua. Joshua and I went to secondary school together. Well, we met in secondary school, right? So
yeah, we met.
So we met at SMC, and we also studied at community college together. So we studied similar subjects. So we've been on this journey together for a pretty long time. So yeah, so
for sure, man. It's a great ride with you, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, so I'm just gonna get into the questions now, and for question 1, I feel like this is the most obvious question I want to ask you. Why did you move all the way to Morocco to study medicine?
Well, it wasn't my original plan. Originally, I wanted to go to the ministry. I was looking at the various scholarship opportunities. I knew I wanted to do medicine, but I wasn't sure where exactly as yet. And imagine the day I went, I think it was 2 days removed from the deadline of the registration. So when I went there, I spoke to them. I was asking them, what are the options for medicine and other scholarships and they just walked me through the application process. I called my good friend and I applied the next day. And it went through.
Wow,
that's how I ended up in Morocco.
Wow, that's really good. I was actually going to ask you, because as you said, you had always wanted to do medicine. I was going to ask you, that was the second question I was going to ask. When did you realize medicine was the field you wanted to go into?
Well, I would put it as 2 things that made me realize that I was into medicine. Ever since I was young, I always liked science, like general science. You have health science in your primary school. That was always my thing. I always used to get good grades and I found it interesting. Now, I personally didn't really like to read.
Okay.
But for some reason, the science textbooks, my dad used to actually get me science books, just science facts books and things. I started reading them and stuff like that. And then I think it was one of the Christmases when I was younger, a friend of mine bought me a health textbook, a really big health book, and it just had facts about the body facts. And I found it really, really interesting. So that's when I began to, sway more towards the medicine. But I have a little sister, and she was born premature, and she had a lot of complications at birth. And even after birth, we had to battle a lot of different conditions as a result of her being born so premature. And I was spending a lot of time at the hospital among doctors and things like that. And I was just looking up to them. Already I had the love from the health science. But really, looking up to the doctors, seeing them make a difference, and especially in my sister's life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really started with those guys, and after a while, I was like, I think this is what I want to do.
Wow, that's super inspirational, man. I actually didn't know about that whole, the story with your little sister and stuff, because from time we at SALCC, for people who don't know, that's the community college we went to. We would always talk about med. And always talk about, like every time we go chem class, anytime we go bio class, it was legit always talking about bypass surgery. Exactly. So that's it's interesting to know your intrinsic motivation towards this. That's pretty inspirational, man. All right, so we're going into the Morocco stuff now. What we really want to know. So for question 3, I'm gonna ask, how difficult is it learning medicine, science in general, in a different language? And would you say that this hinders your progress in school in any way?
That's a really good question, because for those who don't know, in Morocco, they are Muslim and they speak Arabic and they speak French. Well, the younger students speak English because in school you kind of learn it, but all the courses that I do are in French. So initially it was difficult. It was very difficult initially because I come into a new country, I want to, express myself and interact with people. Now there is a first year where you do a year of French, studying, but actually studying, the French and actually grasping the French and being able to learn in French, you don't develop that from just sitting in the classes. You develop
you
that
have to
from
speak
spending time.
in
And
public
also,
as
there was
well.
also exactly. There was also the pandemic. The pandemic really hindered it for me as well because there was a period in time, I was just in campus. I wasn't able to practice as much French. I wasn't able to actually go out and interact with people as much and stuff like that. So it hindered me. So it actually showed in my results in the first semester. It was a little bit more difficult for me to move on, grasp the concepts and stuff. I feel like it's practice. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of willing to go out and interact with people, have them correct you. We have a lot of pride. I have a lot of pride.
Yeah. But as you point, you have to make the mistakes. They go help you, man.
Exactly. You try to speak to them. You have them correct you. Because you just come in and you need to get to that level. I mean, they're able to help you. So it was a difficult challenge.
Okay, all right. Wait, so would you say like you fluent now, or you just you
I'm
good
still
enough?
Not fluent.
You're fluent, yeah, but you're good enough that it's easy to study.
Because it's like you can tend to get comfortable with it as well. You understand? So like sometimes like if I'm not going out too often in this period, like let's say for this point in time we have exams soon and I'm just sitting in my room studying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not actually practicing French. Because if you want, you can just click to translate the work.
Real?
But even with that, I wouldn't.
But that's cheating though.
Exactly. I wouldn't really recommend that because grasping it and understanding it for you kind of just what I mean? You want to start to learn the French jargon, especially in the medicine.
Yeah,
the actual French medicine jargon, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So your exams are in French, right?
I still have work. Everything is in French. Exams.
Wow.
Everything is in French, bro. I think there was one English subject for the entire year.
Okay.
It has some English and
wow.
But I'm not fluent, but I'm getting there,
Yeah. But I know medicine is something that already so difficult to learn. That extra barrier of the language, boy, I can't imagine what that's like.
It's tough at times, I'm telling you, because you have times like you're ready to dive into the work, and not every time you just get it, you just grasp it immediately.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're sitting down with the French and you gain these little hiccups, and it's like you want to move forward, and it has its challenges at times.
But that's good though. At least you have that added skill, because not only medicine, you can converse with people in 2 languages, so it's a benefit, man.
Sure.
All right, so I want to ask you, next question is, I want to ask, what are your plans for when you become a doctor? So do you have plans to remain in Morocco post-graduation?
Right now I'm not entirely sure because it's the first year. Okay. But I feel like it would be easier to if I would like to specialize, go on to further specialize. I feel like since I'm already established in Morocco in that, like my grades and stuff are already in the system, and it would be easier to get into a program there rather than trying to go to somewhere like States or even to write exams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about that.
Ideally, it would be nice. It would be nice if I can do my specialization in Morocco, but for sure, no matter whether I specialize or just stay general, I for sure want to come back home 100%.
That's interesting because it's like you're saying that now, and I was literally about to segue into asking you about not only specialization, but what you want to specialize in. So it's a 2-part question, right? So I was gonna ask, what specialty do you want to pursue?
So that's the first one. It's really early. It's
that's the thing.
Completely make that, but as of right, because I haven't done much as yet, but as of right now, like after the first year, I really like orthopedics, because because of my sports background. Like if you don't know, I play basketball, I did track as well. There's this YouTube channel I watch, and his name is Dr. Brian Stutter, and he actually breaks down the sports injuries into like the actual anatomy of the injuries.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
so what I would do is I'd watch one of these videos, and then I would hop onto, there's another channel which I can't remember their name right now, but they actually do animated orthopedic surgeries. And
wow.
the bone repair, the tendon repair and these things, that really interests me.
Okay.
Really, really interesting. So far,
So I guess
what
you're looking forward to them rotations in like the next few years.
Yeah, for sure I am. But at the same time, you know, everybody would like to do surgery, kind of. So it's like,
I feel like that's a common
but
thing.
it's
Like,
the lifestyle.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
it's the
like it's a
lifestyle. I
common
myself,
thing.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I myself, like, I don't know, like, if I would be able to handle this, because boy, surgeons have very taxing and tough jobs.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's a to actually go through the rotations and make sure it's surgery I want to do. And as I go further into the course, I do more subjects. I realize the organ systems I like, and you know, take it from there. But that's just what I like for now.
Okay. I feel like my answers fluctuate. Like, this is the third episode, and I feel like I've asked a question similar to this on each episode. And like it fluctuates because like you said, it's so early in the game. We haven't done many courses.
Exactly.
I haven't done any like surgical type of skills and nothing like that. So me saying surgery is like, I feel like that's just because, you know, I see it on the TV shows and it's looking bad, and you understand. But
the
for
TV
now,
does make it look.
Yeah. But for now, I'm just gonna take it slow and like see. Like, I don't want to, you know, put myself there and then I, you know, 10, 20 years from now, I like, wow, I should have gone to internal med, you know. Like, you understand?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna ask you, like, related to that, I was gonna ask, do you think you'll ever return to Saint Lucia post specialization? So like to live here and work as a doctor, a specialized doctor.
Like I said a little earlier, I believe I want to come back home and serve, man. I mean, home literally gave me the opportunity to go across on a scholarship and study. So I feel like I want to come back home and give back. Yeah. And also, you know, I've always seen myself, you know, at home. You feel me? I grew up at home. Yeah. It's like I see everybody. I know the whole system. I know how everything works. So, you know, you can start to picture yourself, and especially be seeing the hospital, seeing the doctors there. You know a few related to you because home is small as well. Yeah. So it's like, you know, you just feel more comfortable. And also being so far away from home makes me appreciate home a lot more than
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel it there. Because, and another thing is, a lot of people say like, well, I have no plans to come back here. I don't have nothing for us. But it's like, that's the reason, because nobody not staying. Exactly. So no opportunities being created. So if one person does stay, like what, like they're not gonna have no doctors in Saint Lucia.
Exactly. Nobody exactly.
So yeah, but I say that now. I 20 years old. Maybe when I like 30, I'll be like, boy, yeah.
No, you all are subject to change. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's what we're saying right now. All right. So we're going into question 7. I wanna ask, would you recommend your current program in Morocco to aspiring med students?
Oh, that's a good question.
And be like, I mean, you could give your opinion, but be objective. Don't just say, come. Be objective.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I will. Honestly speaking, it's a great opportunity. You know, it's a scholarship. You know, you don't get scholarships to do entire med programs like that. You understand me? It's a great opportunity financially and just to go further in life, you know, without having to pull out a big loan and that kind of thing. Yeah. There's still a lot to consider as well. You have to be tough, really, really tough to survive and thrive in Morocco. Trust me, you have to be tough. And it's not only the language, you know, it's a new country. It's a Muslim country as well. So that the culture shock, I mean, we basically across the world, you know. Yeah. So the culture shock is huge. Like, for example, if you're somebody, you big on your festivals back home and thing, they don't celebrate Christmas. So there's no real chance to go back home to see your parents, see your family for Christmas. Like, it's a lot of
your semesters are different, right? Like, you don't follow the same. Oh, wow.
It's a bit different. But, yeah, it's a lot to look into, because let me tell you, it's a different world over there. It's a completely different world over there. It's the language, the people. That's another one you have to look at, the kind of people you're going to be interacting with over there, and that kind of thing. I mean, I feel like it's a case. It's not black and white. It's a case where if you feel like you're focused and there's what you want to do, and you're somebody you can handle yourself, put distractions away, and go through with a tough situation, I believe you should try your best to apply. I don't want to discourage anybody, because it's a great opportunity, but you need to be tough.
It's crazy. Wait, let me tell you. You want to know when I found out about the Morocco scholarship? Me and Rena, because you remember Rena and I went to Jamaica together, right? We were walking from the library or something in the night, and I think it was October, because it was in October you all left, right, to go to Morocco or something like that, because you all left. Sorry, it cut off a little bit, but I was saying you all left in like around October time, right?
It was the end of October.
And I remember saying, wait, where Joshua and them going? And then she was like, oh, I think they're going to Morocco. I'm like, Morocco, not Africa? Like, why them and going there? That's to show you, like, I did not even know that opportunity was available, because originally I wanted to go to Cuba, because that was the only opportunity I knew was available for Lucian students. And then there's a scholarship to go to Morocco. I'm like, what? Wait, I like, mind you, I really like UE. I like the curriculum. I really like the training we get at UE. But I feel like that would have been an opportunity that I would have taken. And you saying that, you giving that piece of advice there, I feel like I would have taken that and run with it. So yeah. But that kind of also ties in with my last few questions. I was going to ask you, so given your recommendation, what would you say are ways that students can go about applying for the program?
Well, the main way, which I think is the only way as well, is through the ministry. So like I said, I literally just went to the ministry. I asked, what's available for medicine and whatnot. They were very nice. They told me about the Moroccan scholarship as well. But we also have we have an Instagram page, OECSM, Organization of Eastern Caribbean Students.
I remember to link it under the description.
Yeah, that would be great. You can go over there. We have our organization. We help students who want to come up. We ourselves, we have parties, we have fundraisers, we have stuff coming. You can go over there. You can message. They will tell you all about application, the process. Any of your questions you want to answer, they'll guide you through it, so that when the time comes to apply for the ministry, which I believe should be around August, you'll be ready.
Wow. So I want to ask you, are there students from other Caribbean islands doing this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wow. There are students from Dominica. There are students from Antigua. All of us in that OECSM, all of us are in that together, and we have our events. We do our stuff. There are sporting competitions where the different African cultures come together and play sports. So you'll have, for basketball, for example, you'll have somewhere like a team like Kenya, you'll have Ghana. We have our Caribbean team.
Okay. That's cool, man. That's good.
Yeah, man.
That's cool, man. Wow. So I really wish I knew about that, because that is just like basically UE in Africa. How much OECS people over there?
Yeah, it's good, but I think I'm making it look a little too good.
Yeah, maybe, you maybe make it sound nice.
It has its moments.
Yeah, everything, everything have its pros and cons, and you just, you're thankful for it, like you said. You're thankful for the opportunity. So that's the most important thing. All right. So for the final question, I was going to ask you, what's a piece of advice that will be helpful for students who will be applying to this program or medical school in general?
Okay. For that question, I would say, it goes back to the language, the French. Do not take it for granted. Yes, you can't just translate the work and feel like that's it and you just reading the work. But in the exams, I made a lot of mistakes on my first time. In that, in the exams, sometimes you you read the question and the results are similar. That happens everywhere, really. But in French, you can imagine that would be a little bit more difficult to navigate. You want to get really fluent with the French in that. Make friends. You see, we are on an international campus where there are people from all over Africa. They are very friendly, very down to earth people. So you can reach out to them, keep practicing like that. Also, don't have too much pride to ask other students for help. I remember when I just came, I figured, I go into the medicine and I can just go and do my thing. I read everything and all kind of thing. Nah, not all subjects need to be approached the same way. They have the different layers of heavy in terms of the subject. Ask the students who have done it before. Trust me. Ask them for the papers. Ask them to tell you how to go about doing it. Don't have too much pride. Trust me. Ask. They will help you. We are there to help you. If anybody is interested in coming up, all of us are there to help you as well. So don't have too much pride in that aspect. There's the main one, of course, the obvious one of time management. You're far away from home. You really far away from home. You're on your own. Some of us, it's our first times, being on our own for a good long period of time. It's easy to procrastinate sometimes and take care of daily chores like, washing, cooking, these kind of things, and then just leave the work. No, time management is very important. You cannot afford to procrastinate in medical school, and especially over there, where you have to be a little bit more meticulous.
Yeah. All right, so that is it.
Yeah, man.
That's some solid advice, man. That's really helpful. Well, I can't really relate to the aspect of it that has to do with the language, because all my exams and stuff is in English. But I mean, in general, just in medical school, I feel like that's super duper important. Time management and just being balanced and stuff. So I want to say thank you very much for being the third guest on the podcast. I feel like this episode is extremely helpful because I strayed away from UWI and the Caribbean, and it's giving students different options for opportunities where they can study medicine and not have too much like loans and financial burden. So thank you very much, man.
Yeah, man, anytime, bro.